Very warm welcome to all of you to this afternoon's webinar on scholarship and financial aid that NUS offers. Now, I know that it has been a long day. Many of you have been attending webinars since this morning for the first day of our NUS e-open house. And let me get my slides up and then let's get started. So let me now begin this webinar. Now, the topic of this afternoon's webinar is actually on scholarship and financial aids. Now, we have many schemes available for scholarship and financial aid to support our students. Now, because the content is more technical in nature, in the sense that there are quite a variety of schemes available, so I'll try my best to explain to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to type in the Q&A tab. We will come back and then we'll address those questions to you for you accordingly. Now, let me just again give you a snapshot of the NUS experience. And in terms of ranking, NUS is among the best universities in Asia and top 25 universities globally. We are a research-intensive, comprehensive university. So, and because of our size, our taking in of more than 7,000 undergraduate freshmen each year, so we are able to offer a wide range of bachelor's degree programs, more than 60 of them altogether. And in terms of student life, we have a very vibrant student life. We have more than 200 clubs and societies and interest groups, and our student life is further enriched by on-campus stay. At the same time, we are well connected with more than 300 of our partner universities in over 40 countries. And that gives another possible enrichment of your NUS experience. And our graduates are very employable. We are consistently among the most employable graduates in the world. And in terms of your academic pathway, due to our size, we actually offer a wide range of bachelor's degree programs. If you're interested in humanities and sciences, you can actually take a major in arts and social sciences or a major in science. If you're interested about the intersections between humanities and sciences, you can also embark on one of our cross-disciplinary programs. If you like design and engineering, both are very closely related. You can embark on a major in design or a major in engineering. We have a very nice business school that offers majors in accountancy, business administration, and real estate. And today, one of the students you're going to meet here is actually majoring in accountancy. And we have a very strong school of computing, offering 4 different kinds of majors in computing, business analytics, computer science, information security, and information systems. Being a comprehensive university, we have professional schools like medicine, dentistry, and law. And this afternoon, you will also meet a student in law. And at the same time, we even have a music school. And for students who are passionate about healthcare, we have courses on nursing and pharmacy as well. So what are the hallmarks of an NUS education? Having a course of study, having an undergraduate program that you embark on, that is only one portion of your NUS education. There are 2 other portions. Another portion is your broad-based foundation, and that we achieve it by giving you a common curriculum. Our common curriculum is actually tailored towards the cluster or the area of studies that you have. Humanities and sciences, there is a common curriculum. Design and engineering, there's another one. There's another one for business and another one for computing. So the first thing, common curriculum. The second hallmark of our NUS education is the other portion that is outside major, outside common curriculum, which we call unrestricted electives. Unrestricted electives provides us to give you flexible pathways for you to decide what you want to do. If you wish to deepen your expertise in a major, by all means do so. If you want to achieve multiple competencies through double majors or minors, you can do that as well. And because of the flexibility of doing double majors and minors, you can actually embark on an interdisciplinary journey. You can mix 2 different disciplines together through this hallmark of NUS education, and you can strengthen it by experiential learning, bringing what you learn in the classroom to practice. And last but not least, I want to emphasize that our commitment to our students is actually not just the 4 years of undergraduate education, but 20 years and beyond. We will be your partner for lifelong learning going forward. And what are the things that you could actually enrich your NUS education apart from academics? I would like to focus on some of these additional enrichment of your NUS journey. For example, on-campus accommodation. It is possible for you to stay on campus, and we certainly hope that all our students will have at least 1 year of experience staying on campus. Why is that is a valuable experience? Because on-campus accommodations allows you to actually gain beyond academics. We have essentially 5 different types of places for you to stay on campus. The first type is the traditional halls of residence. Raffles Hall, Shears Hall, Yusof Ishak Halls. If you have family members who were graduates of NUS, ask them about that. I'm sure they have many beautiful memories there. You get a place to stay, and there is a lot of activities for students to take part as well, maybe cultural activities, community activities, or sporting activities. The second type, which we start more than 10 years ago, is what we call residential colleges. And residential colleges, again, there's a place to stay. There's a rich culture of activities, but at the same time, you take some of your modules at residential college. And in particular, you will take 4 modules at the residential colleges that which are in small class setting that can be counted towards the common curriculum of your respective major. And the residential colleges, at the residential colleges, you get to live and learn and grow together with peers and professors from faculties across the campus. Last year, we started NUS College. NUS College is our first honors college, undergraduate college in the university that you actually enhance your major by taking modules and courses under NUS College. Now, under NUS College, what happens is this. You also get to stay at least 2 years on campus in a residential college. There will be activities, there will be a place to stay, there will be classes, but the difference between NUS College and residential colleges are, residential colleges, you take 4 modules. NUS College, you take a total of 14 modules. So that is the third type. The fourth types are for students who would like to have a place to stay, to have some activities, but less intensive activities, and that is the student residences. It doesn't mean that it's just like a place to stay. You can have engaged in rich cultural exchange and community building with students staying there. And you will meet students from different nationalities staying at the student residences. And last but not least, the fifth type is what we call houses. And this is a new concept that we started last year. And this is actually talking about the strong focus on well-being and peer mentorship. So these are one aspect that you could enrich your NUS education besides your academics. Another way of enriching your NUS education apart from academics is study abroad programs. Study abroad programs, you can spend 1 semester or 1 year under the student exchange program in one of our more than 300 partner universities. Now, this is actually, to many students, this is a life-changing experience. Learn beyond your comfort zone. Go to a new system. Learn something new. Learn something, a different way of learning, a different culture. And yes, this actually integrates academics together with experiences about building up your soft skill. If you find that 1 semester is too long, you can always embark on summer and winter programs. In summer and winter programs, they are shorter duration. It could be 3 to 6 weeks, and this takes place during the summer and winter vacation. There are other study abroad programs like research attachment. You go to another country to do research in one of the renowned labs and be mentored by world-class researchers. You can also embark on NUS overseas colleges. These are for students who wanted to be entrepreneur. You spend one semester or 1 year in one of our more than 15 NUS overseas colleges. You work as an intern in a startup, and at the same time, you take some classes in our partner universities. That program is for students who are very keen on entrepreneurship, and more than 1,000 companies has been founded after this experience since the program started more than 20 years ago. So why do I mention all this additional enrichment? Because all this additional enrichment, sometimes some students may wonder, what are the costs involved? Is it affordable for me? And that brings us to the topic that I want to talk about today, scholarships and financial aid. For Singapore citizens, we do offer between 500 to 600 NUS university level scholarships, like the 4 that I've mentioned there. Our flagship is the NUS Global Merit Scholarship and NUS Merit Scholarship. And for those who are strong in sports or visual arts, we have dedicated scholarships for sports and visual arts as well. These are open to Singapore citizens who have outstanding academic results, strong leadership qualities and potential, and good core curricular activities. Now, what are the terms and conditions of the NUS scholarships? The NUS scholarships, they are all bond-free, so you don't have to pay any school fees. And at the same time, you will be given an amount for living expenses, and depending on the scholarship you are on, some may even come with on-campus accommodation. And so this is totally bond-free. This is to support all our Singapore citizens in their study. What other scholarships do we have? We have other full-term bond-free scholarships. Like, for example, if you are somebody who is aspiring to be entrepreneur, you can embark on the Stephen Rady Young Entrepreneur Scholarship. And apart from taking this Stephen Rady Young Entrepreneur Scholarship, and what you can do is that you can also embark on our NUS overseas colleges to have a real experience about what is it like to be an entrepreneur. Other scholarships, like donated scholarships like Wee Cho Yao Future Readies Award for financial needy Singapore citizens who are well-rounded high achievers. At the faculty levels, there are faculty level scholarships as well offered to students in their respective disciplines. Here are some examples. More of them could be found from the link that I've indicated on the slide. So for example, we have the E-Scholars Scholarship. E stands for engineering. So these are for students who are passionate about studying engineering. There is Engineering Scholars Program, and that's E-Scholars. Business school students, you may be eligible for Business Dean Scholarship. Computing student, you could be eligible for School of Computing Scholarship. How about for international students? Are there any scholarships available for international students? And yes, there are scholarships for international students, and they are all merit-based and awarded to individuals with academic excellence, outstanding leadership, and co-curricular activities. Here are some examples. So some of these scholarships for international students, like the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship, that is available for students from ASEAN countries. The Science and Technology S&T Undergraduate Scholarship, these are for students who are studying in a STEM discipline from Asia. If you are in NUS College, you will also be considered for NUS College International Scholarship for all nationality who are in NUS College. And last but not least, there are scholarships offered by external organizations. And again, you can find the details from our website. For these scholarship of international students, because we are assessing them together with the admission applications, so eligible students will be considered automatically for the ASEAN Undergraduate Scholarship, Science and Technology Undergraduate Scholarship, and NUS College International Scholarship through their admission application. In other words, you don't have to submit at this stage a scholarship application. You can do this after you have been shortlisted, and you will be invited to submit accordingly. But your application will be assessed based on their admission application. So there's another item that actually provides substantial tuition waiver, and this is what we call the MOE, stands for Ministry of Education Tuition Grant. Now, this is a substantial tuition fee subsidies from the Singapore government administered by the university. For all Singapore citizens and Singapore permanent residents studying in one of the local autonomous university for the first time, they will be offered automatically. For international students admitted to NUS, you'll be offered competitively based on the merit of the application. So the Singapore citizens, there will be no terms and conditions and is automatically offered to you. For Singapore permanent residents and international students who are taking up the MOE tuition grant, then you, in return, you have to work in Singapore or Singapore registered company for 3 years after graduation. And here, there is no specification about which company in Singapore or which Singapore registered company you need to work in. As long as you work in Singapore or Singapore registered company for 3 years, you have satisfied the terms and conditions of the MOE tuition grant. So let me give you a snapshot about the significance of this tuition grant that I've just described. So here are the NUS tuition fees in AY 2023 that is coming in this coming academic year. So let me give you an example. Suppose that a student is interested in a computing course and the full tuition fees without any MOE tuition grant is $38,809. But for Singapore citizens, which are automatically given the tuition grant, if this is the first time that you are studying in a local university, the fees you're paying is $8,250. So it's a substantial, it's less than 25% of the full fees. For Singapore permanent residents with the tuition grant, you paid more than the Singapore citizen, and the amount is about $11,500. And for international students, the moment you take up the tuition grant, you pay about $17,000. It's less than half of the full tuition fees. So the way to think about the MOE tuition grant is like a partial scholarship that actually enables you to reduce your tuition fees accordingly. And that is about scholarship, about grants. How about financial support? Now, I would like to assure all our students here that our admissions policy is merit-based and needs-blind. Financial difficulty will not impact the way that we assess you. We actually have a wide range of financial support schemes to help our students who are actually in need of financial support. So what are the kind of financial aid schemes that's available? Here is a snapshot. We have bursaries, we have government bursaries, we have NUS bursaries. That will take care of the school fees and living expenses. And if you want to have experience at on-campus stay, we do have residential program, residential college, bursaries and grants as well to support needy students. For students who want to experience a study abroad program like student exchange program or summer and winter programs, we do have what we call NUS Awards for Study Abroad, in short, NASA bursaries. And we have a new innovation started last year, which is a new grant called the Opportunity Enhancement Grant, which I will elaborate further as well. For if all the above supports are still insufficient, there are ways to that you can easily apply for tuition fee loan and NUS study loan, and there are also work study assistance scheme to help you to defray your university expenses. Feel free to visit our website to find out more about the details. I will explain more this afternoon. And you can also estimate your expenses with our financial needs calculator. And just for a snapshot, the annual cost of living in Singapore, depending on lifestyle, is about, for a student, is about 6,000 Singapore dollars a year. And accommodation, assuming on-campus accommodation based on 8 months stay, is about $4,600 in average per year. So now I'm going to explain all the technical details about what are all the financial aid scheme that is available. Now, to begin with, we need to understand two keywords. One is GHI, the other is PCI. What is GHI? GHI stands for monthly gross household income, GHI. PCI stands for per capita income. So just for simplicity, suppose that there's a household of 4 people. The total household income of the 4 people add together, let's say, is $10,000. Then the per capita income would be GHI divided by the number of people in the household. So it's 10,000 divided by 4, so it's 2,500. So the per capita income and the gross household income, these are the 2 parameters that the government bursaries were used to determine about the eligibility of financial aid. So let me explain the key bursaries for tuition fees and living expenses. There are two bursaries, that is for tuition fees, the Higher Education Community Bursary and the Higher Education Bursaries. These 2 bursaries are actually given by the Singapore government for all Singapore citizens, with PCI up to 1,100 or GHI up to 4,400 for the Higher Education Community Bursary, and 2,500 PCI or GHI up to 10,000 for Higher Education Bursary. So naturally, the quantum for the lower PCI group is higher. It can go as high as $6,300. Now, $6,300 is actually quite close to the amount of school fees that you paid per year for Singapore citizens. Like, for example, just now I cited the example about computing. For Singapore citizen, $8,250 per year. So 6,300 is quite close to filling up the gap for the school fees. But of course, you may say that there are still living expenses to take care of. I will address this in a moment. Higher education bursary is for those with the PCI, which are actually higher. So it's between 1,100 to 2,500. Then it will defray part of the cost by up to $3,250. So coming back to the gap between $8,250 for the tuition fee and the highest quantum you can get for the Higher Education Community Bursary of 6,300, what to do? Not to worry, NUS donated or faculty bursary will come into play to support you. And the bursary with quantum at least $1,500 per year, depending on the assessed financial need and the nationality of applicant. The NUS donated bursary is open for all Singapore citizens as well as needy permanent residents and international students. So depending on the nationality, there's a different amount, differentiated amount. You can find out the details from the website. What other bursaries? Suppose that a student would like to enrich the undergraduate experience. You want to embark on an on-campus stay. Then that will cost additional costs, and we do have bursaries again available. We have residential program bursary for students staying in the halls of residence. For example, the traditional halls of residence, and the amount can range from $500 to $4,000 per year for Singapore citizens, depending on the assessed financial need of the applicant. For students who are staying in the residential college, and residential college is cost a little bit more than the traditional halls of residence. Again, we have bursary available for up to $5,000 per annum. And again, this time, it depends on the financial needs and the nationality of the applicant. Individual halls, individual residential colleges, due to the donations provided by people who donated to these halls and residents because of the excellent experience that they had. And so there are bursaries and grants also offered by individual halls and residential colleges. So this is the main bursaries that we have for on-campus stay. How about study abroad programs? I would like to spend 1 semester or in a partner university. Now, it all depends on which country you go to, and it could be rather expensive, like North America, or it could be an Asian country, it could be an ASEAN country, and actually the university does have NUS Awards for Study Abroad exchange bursary. This exchange bursary, again, the quantum change differs from 2,500 to 5,000, depending on the assessed financial need for Singapore citizens participating in overseas student exchange program. Now, whether is this completely enough to cover the total cost, you will cover a certain proportion of the cost for student exchange program. Then for students who wanted to actually go for a shorter program like overseas, summer, winter, and research attachment, we have what we call NUS Awards for Study Abroad Enhancement Bursary. And the quantum again depends on the duration, assessed financial need, the location. It can range from $400 to $3,000. So it will cover again part of the cost for these shorter and summer winter programs. And this comes to a point that I would like to highlight our increasing access to an NUS education. Our goal, we are committed to provide all our students not just to take care of your fees, to take care of taking the classes, but we also want to make sure that you have a chance to have the full suite of an NUS experience, namely including on-campus stay, including overseas programs. And we have introduced the Enhanced Financial Aid Scheme for needy full-time Singaporean undergraduate students last year. And this year, for AY 2023, we will enhance further in tandem with the government's change of the per capita income bounds for in terms of government bursary. So starting from this academic year, if the student is a needy full-time Singaporean undergraduate student, plus with per capita income up to $1,100, not to worry, you don't have to pay any fees at all. Government bursary will cover a substantial amount of the tuition fees. On top of this, NUS bursary will top up everything completely. Students in that category, you will not have to pay any school fees. And this is independent of whether your course of study, whether is it computing, whether it's business, or whether is it humanities and sciences. Notwithstanding that the tuition fees for these courses may not be exactly the same, but NUS bursary will cover the balance for you completely. You don't have to pay any school fees. If your per capita income is lower than $1,100, but up to $750, not only you have full tuition coverage, we will also provide $4,000 per year as living expenses for you, so that you don't have to worry about living expenses. You can concentrate on benefiting from the full suite of the NUS experience. And for students with PCI not more than $750, yes, we already have bursaries for on-campus stay and overseas programs. But those bursaries for on-campus stay and overseas programs may not cover everything. And we do understand that that may be an issue for some of the students to go for these programs. So we have this third item, which is called the Opportunity Enhancement Grant. The Opportunity Enhancement Grant provides you with $10,000 over a period of 4 years, that as and when you make use of you apply for on-campus stay, you can use it to offset the balance that is not covered by existing bursaries for on-campus stay and overseas programs. And of course, there are other financial aid schemes available. There is the post-secondary education account. You can actually, if you are Singapore citizen Malay undergraduates, you'll be entitled for the Mendaki tertiary tuition fee subsidies. And you can go for tuition fee loan, you can go for CPF loan, NUS study loan, and NUS student assistance loan. So what are those financial aid schemes that is actually administered by NUS? Now, I know that at this moment, you may think that it sounds very confusing. There are so many different schemes available, and it looks like multiple rounds of application. Not to worry, we make it accessible for you. There are 8 financial aid schemes that I've highlighted here. The Higher Education Community Bursary, the Higher Education Bursary, these two are the government bursaries. This is the NUS bursary that I mentioned that it could even be used to top up and cover your school fees entirely. There's the Opportunity Enhancement Grant that I mentioned about allows you to top up wherever additional bursaries that you need. And there's Residential Program Bursary, Residential College Bursary for you to stay on campus. There's NUS Study Loan, NUS Student Assistance Loan. You don't have to make 8 separate applications. One online application will take care of everything. We will assess your application and we will let you know which are the ones that you're eligible. We do provide bursaries as and when you require them, or financial aid as and when you require them, because we do understand that sometimes financial difficulty happens in the middle of the semester. Our financial aid applications are open throughout the year. And if we have already offered you a certain financial aid package and your financial situation changes, do come back to us. We'll reassess and we will give you an enhanced package when necessary. So not to worry about that. And for bursaries, we require reapplication every year. But loans, you can actually apply once, and this will be good for you for the rest of the candidature. How about the other financial aid schemes that I mentioned? Hall bursary, residential college grants that is essentially funded by donations to the specific halls and residential colleges. And the study abroad bursary, the NUS college, NUS overseas college awards and others. All these, you can apply them at the appropriate juncture with the respective internal NUS units. Not to worry, after you're into the system, you will know exactly where to look for to apply for this bursary. And there are externally administered financial aid schemes as well, like tuition fee loan and the various loan. And these are tenable for the entire course duration. You apply with the various external organizations at either the banks or CPF or MOE through our Office of Financial Aid. So in summary, our financial aid application is actually one financial aid application. You may be offered up to 8 of the schemes that we have. It's simple. Don't worry. And you just need to supply the supporting documents, and you can make applications to the external agencies for other bursaries and loans, at the same time, if you add everything together, it can actually cover up to 100% of your study expenses. So what kind of timeline are you looking at? Applying for admission, that is one thing. Apply to the admission application portal. To apply for scholarship, that is a separate portal. To apply for financial aid is another portal. So just go through these, follow the timeline, supply the necessary supporting document. And so this gives you a snapshot about for Singapore Cambridge A-level students. What you have here is that you can apply for financial aid anytime you want. And from 17th of February onwards, you can apply for admission, financial aid, and scholarship. 19th of March, admission and scholarship closes. We'll assess you for scholarship, and then we'll release you admission outcome and scholarship outcomes eventually. I would like to show this final picture about how you may fund your future for financial aid for the NUS journey. Now, what you can do is that, like I said, before you are matriculated into university, apply for financial aid, apply for the necessary external schemes. And from August onwards, after you have matriculated into the university, you can receive financial aid before your gyro deduction. And let's say if it happens that in this first year, you stay on campus, you read modules on campus, you stay on campus, then you can apply for the residential college bursary. And if it's not enough, you registered the use of the Opportunity Enhancement Grant to top up. Let's say in your journey, in the second year, You read modules again on campus during vacation, go for internship, enrich your NUS experience. Then in the third year, you decided to go for a student exchange program in the first semester. Apply to our student exchange bursary, our NASA student exchange bursary, and wherever shortfall, again, use your opportunity enhancement grant to top it out. And then the second semester, read modules again on campus, and the special term, go for a second internship. And finally, in the fourth year, in the graduation year, you read modules and you graduate, and then that's how you can plan your future accordingly. Now, you can find out more information from our website. You can actually send your inquiries on nus.edu/ask-admissions. And most importantly, next week, we are going to have our physical open house next Saturday. Feel free to come by and we'll be more than happy to meet you and explain further to you all these details. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Goh, for your sharing. We will now move on to the Q&A segment. Joining Prof. Goh is Ms. Autumn Ong, the Associate Director in the Office of Admissions, in charge of NUS Financial Aid Schemes, and Ms. Tan Bạch Lian, the Associate Director in the Office of Admissions, in charge of NUS Scholarships. We have also specially invited two NUS students, Teddy and Eliora, to share their experiences. Teddy is a third-year student majoring in accountancy from the NUS Business School. He is a recipient of the NUS Merit Scholarship. Teddy was the head of his residential block at Cambridge Hall, where he led, planned, and executed huge scale events such as the Freshman Orientation Program, Welcome Hall Camps, as well as the NUS Scholars Retreat for fellow scholars. He plays regularly for the NUS Recreational Volleyball Club and is also a student ambassador leader. Teddy recently returned from his student exchange program to the Netherlands at Maastricht University. On top of juggling schoolwork and extracurricular activities, Teddy believes in getting a career head start by sourcing for internships during his term break. He is a licensed financial advisor working with the Advisors Alliance Group, an authorized representative of AIA. Eliora is a second-year student from the NUS Faculty of Law. She is also a recipient of the NUS Merit Scholarship. Eliora is an active student ambassador and a member of the law school community. She has taken up the position of Internal Affairs Director in the NUS Law Club Management Committee and Vice President of the Collaborative Dispute Resolution Club. Most recently, her Law Club Directorate, together with CFG at Law, organized the Law Career Fair, bringing together legal professionals from different walks of life and students from the faculty. She's also involved in pro bono work, serving as Project Director for the NUS Raja and Tan PDPA Pro Bono Compliance Assistance Scheme, which works towards enabling voluntary welfare organization to be PDPA compliant. I will hand the time over to Prof. Goh, who will be moderating the Q&A segment. Prof. Goh, please.
Thank you, Ye Jia. I think I saw a lot of very interesting questions in the chat. But let me just invite Teddy and Eliora to say hello to both of you, to all the students here first before we get going with the questions. Teddy, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Yes, hi. Nice to meet everybody. Thank you so much for the introduction as well. So, yeah, what else do I need to introduce for myself other than what has already been said? I'm just really excited to come here to share with you more about any questions that you guys may have, or maybe after this we can share a bit more about ourselves in terms of our life thus far and how we've come to where we are today and how the scholarship has helped us. Yeah, but over to Eliora first.
Yeah.
Thanks, Teddy. Hi, everyone. I'm Eliora. I'm a Year 2 student in the Faculty of Law. Similar to Teddy, I'm also an NUS Merit Scholar, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions about the scholarship and student life in NUS.
Thank you. Okay, let's get started. You know that both Teddy and Eliora are actually NUS Merit Scholars, and I think sometimes students ask about what kind of attributes do you look out for to be NUS merit scholars? And maybe I saw something very interesting. I guess it's about certain attributes, certain strengths, and I guess inclination about things as well. And of course, and also whether you have certain outstanding, let's say, qualities. And I noticed that Teddy, as a accountancy student, you have already achieved the status of a licensed financial advisor. So you have really taken full ownership of your learning. And can you share with us more about this?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I'm an accounting student, and I'm also having a second major in finance. So I began this journey as a financial consultant in my very first year summer. So I told myself that, if I have 4 years in school, I don't really just want to study. Then I kind of want to, take things out of school, out of the textbook, and I can learn more than what the classroom can offer me. So whenever an opportunity came along my way for me to learn and grow myself, taking on new jobs, new roles, or whatsoever. For example, my financial accountant role, my financial services consultant role. Then yeah, that's why I took it up, and I'm still practicing now. So I thought this was one of the traits that I feel helped me a lot, in the sense that I'm an opportunist. That whatever opportunities came by, I would gladly take them, and I'm always out there seeking for brand new opportunities to grow myself in the future as well. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Teddy, thank you so much. I think this is actually something that we can actually share with the prospective student about taking ownership, about making good use of the opportunities available. And it also highlights other things also about taking what you have studied in accountancy and in finance, and then you put it to practice. I think this is something that is very, very important. And Eliora, I noticed that you are actually you're actively involved in pro bono work. So, and can you share with us why you are interested in pro bono work, and what are the interesting experiences that you encountered in your pro bono work?
Sure. So, for those of you who might not be familiar with what pro bono is, it's essentially a concept of, doing work for the common good. It's what we term for, kind of like volunteer work that a lot of law students do. So for myself, my pro bono project is regarding compliance with the Personal Data Protection Act. So I'm sure many of you may have heard of the PDPA, how companies may be fined because, they're unable to comply. So my team and I, we work with volunteer welfare organizations to make sure that they are compliant. The reason why I wanted to join this project is because, well, it seemed interesting. And also it really goes beyond what we just learned in school. In school, we learn a lot about the law, but being with this project and working with beneficiaries and all these volunteer organizations allows me to take what I've learned in school and apply it in the real world, and, just to help the beneficiaries as well. I think it's a really meaningful cause, and it's really helped to enrich my experience in NUS.
That's really good, contributing back to society. I think pro bono is certainly one way that you can do that. And at the same time, you put in practice what you have learned in the textbook, in the classroom, to the real world setting. And I think many students are, interested about the terms and conditions of our scholarships. Now, in our NUS Merit Scholarship, apart from full tuition waiver, apart from $6,000 living expenses, there are other benefits, like there's a guaranteed student exchange program, and there's a guaranteed on-campus stay. And Teddy, you have stayed on campus. You have also got a student exchange program. So did you benefit from this so-called benefits of the NUS Merit Scholarship?
Definitely yes. Because I think, if you guys don't know, once you get admitted and you want to apply for like halls, or even later on when you apply for your exchange program, it's actually quite competitive, especially within business school, because everybody does very well and they're all fighting for the spots. So with this scholarship, it kind of gave me an upper hand in terms of the guarantee. So in terms of the housing, I got guaranteed like for 3 years on-campus housing, and I managed to get into Cambridge Hall, and it was a really wonderful experience. Living with your friends, being able to take on new roles in leadership roles. I was a block head last year, so that meant that I was managing about 100 people living in my block. and all the day-to-day activities. Very interesting experience for me, which helped me grow myself as a student, as a leader, and everything. Then for student exchange program, same thing as well. Once again, it was super competitive last year, especially this year, once the borders opened up. And luckily because I got to stay in the Netherlands with my friends. 20 of us were staying in this one small town. And every week we just gather, go to school together, have house parties and everything. So overall, it was quite an enriching experience for the past few years, thanks to this scholarship in terms of the opportunities that it gave me. And yeah, I'm really grateful for it.
I see. That's very good. Yeah. And okay, talking about the NUS Merit Scholarship, I saw there are some questions posted in the Q&A tab asking about whether are there cases where NUS Merit Scholarship was awarded to students without interview. And let me invite my colleague, Ms. Tan Viet Lin, to elaborate a little bit more about this.
Hi. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. It is possible for students to be considered for NUS scholarship without interview. So our faculties generally will do desktop selection. And aside from that, if they find you to be suitable, they may award you the scholarship without interviews. But there's also a possibility for interviews. So some faculties, they may want to know you more. Get to know your passion, want to understand you better to assess whether you're suitable for the scholarship. So it's possible to be awarded scholarship both with or without interviews.
So I presume that, Viet Lin, what we do is that we actually let the faculties decide how they want to make the assessment to a certain extent.
Correct.
So that's why you may hear that some students from one faculty got interview, another student may not get interview, and or the mode of assessment, I guess, again, it all depends on the faculty.
Yep.
Yes, and since Eliora actually got a NUS Merit Scholarship, and I understand that in the Faculty of Law, the NUS Merit Scholarship were actually selected concurrently together with the law applications, because to get into NUS Law, every student will be interviewed. So, and I think many students here are interested to study law and maybe also interested in NUS Merit Scholarship. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about how is it like about the law interview, and about what are the things that, is it a very daunting experience, or is it the manageable experience? Eliora, would you like to elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. So for the law admission, we have both a written test and the interview actually. So for the interview itself, it was a pretty manageable experience. I think what's really important is for you to be confident in yourself and to know exactly why you want to join law. And since we have this platform, I think a lot of this misconception that a lot of my juniors have is that before you go for a law interview, you need to read up statutes, you need to read law textbooks, you need to know the law. I'm going to just say that, that is completely not the case. I don't think any of the law professors are expecting you to have knowledge about the law, because you join law school to learn about the law. You don't need to know it before you go in. But I think what's important is to know how the law may affect you in your day-to-day life. For example, when you buy something, you enter into a contract, or how, generally, criminal law, you see it in the news, things like that affect your day-to-day life. I think having an awareness of how the law works, how it applies to you, and reinforcing your belief and reasons as to why you want to join law is more important. And I think that will put you in really good state for the interview.
Thank you. I think at the end of the day, basically for all interviews, be genuine, and just be yourself and be natural about who you are. I think that is the most important advice that I would give students. And and I saw there are other interesting questions in the Q&A that mentioned about financial aid. Now, in the financial aid, I think NUS has made a commitment to actually support students from financially challenged family. And then there's a question that asks, is that are there any quota, maximum number of financial aid package that we actually that we impose? I'll invite my colleague Ms. Autumn Ong to comment about that and to elaborate further.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I think you'll be happy to know that there's no quota. as long as you meet the eligibility criteria. So we have various eligibility criteria, but mainly it is based on income and your nationality. So that if you want to meet the criteria, you will definitely be eligible for the various schemes, be it loans, grants, or bursaries.
So in other words, this is a commitment of our university to actually to support the students who are in financial needs, to make sure that they get a full suite of NUS education. And then I saw a couple of other questions about NS men. You know that NS men, they could apply for admission essentially 3 times. Immediately after they got their A-level results, and then in their second year of NS, and then after they finish their NS. So essentially 3 times. And how about and of course, if they got a place for admission, this will be kept for them until they matriculate into the university. So the question is, how about the situation about scholarship and financial aid? I'll let Piet Lien talk about scholarship and Autumn talks about financial aid.
Yes, for NS men, as what Prof. Goh mentioned, you actually have 3 chances. So you can apply for scholarship in a way 3 times, so you get 3 chances. So if you are awarded the first time that you apply for admission, then the scholarship will be guaranteed and be reserved for you all the way until you matriculate. So we always advise NS men, don't waste your opportunity. You got 3 chances, make full use of your 3 chances.
But the financial aid is a little bit more complex, right? So I'll let Autumn explain. Yeah.
Okay, for financial aid, for RNS men, right? You don't have to apply during, you only need to apply in the year of your enrollment, because for family, because most of mainly the eligibility criteria is based on income. So income changes, it may change every year. So that's why we would like you to only apply in the year that you are enrolling in NUS.
Because basically in terms of bursary, you are supposed to, you need a reapplication every year. And if we actually provide you with the financial aid too early, the amount, but the income may change. And that's why we will encourage you to apply at the year of matriculation. So Autumn, which month should the returning NS men apply? Let's say in 2023, they are going to enroll into NUS. So which month should they submit their, assuming that they already have a place in NUS. So which month should they submit their financial aid application?
So if they are enrolling in the academic year 2023, they can actually submit an application right now. Yeah, or when they have already applied for, and I would assume that they have applied for admission by now, so they can actually start applying for financial aid right now. And in fact, financial aid is open throughout the year, throughout the academic year itself. So at any point in time that you require financial aid and you have not applied earlier on, you can still apply during the academic year.
Yes, and this is the point that I was reiterating just now, that financial aid is open throughout the years, because we perfectly understand that sometimes financial changes in financial system, a situation of a family may occur during the course of the academic year. So that's why we want to be here for all students. Now, in terms of time, I think due to time constraint and it looks like we may not be able to continue further with answering the questions, but if you have more questions, not to worry. There is a Speak With Us session immediately after this webinar that you may actually sign up and attend, or come down to NUS next Saturday, our first full-fledged physical open house for 3 years. And at the end of the day, we certainly hope that we will be able to support you in your journey in NUS, and we look forward to seeing you in NUS. I'll pass the time back to Yejia, and thank you again for Teddy, for Eliora, Autumn, and Piet Lien for joining me to answer all your questions. Yeah, back to you, Yejia.
Thank you, Prof. Goh. Ms. Ong, Ms. Tan, Teddy, and Eliora for sharing your experience, insights, and sound advice. I hope they have managed to answer your questions and clarify your doubts. With that, we have come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope this webinar has been helpful. If you have any further questions, please send them through our Ask Admissions website, which can be found in the chat box shortly. We understand that most of you have signed up for an array of open house events lined up for the rest of the week. We hope that you will have a fruitful time ahead. Do visit us at our admissions booth on Saturday, 4th March, if you wish to speak with an admissions officer or chat with our student ambassadors. A wide range of talks and activities awaits too. Find out more information via the links and QR code provided. We look forward to having you there. We also greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill up a feedback form. You may scan the QR code or access the link that we have shared on the chatbot. Your feedback is important to us. Please let us know how we can improve. Thank you once again. My colleagues and I look forward to receiving your application and warmly welcoming you to NUS. Have a great evening ahead.